All right, good morning again to you. Here we go. We're gonna be yeah, there it is. There's that old sun coming up on the water. But no, we're not on the water. We're in actually Grand Prairie, Alberta. And we're going to go with the last chapter here this morning as we watch the sunrise here in a field uh, in front of Maud Clifford Public School. Lower narrow spit, like you're spitting sunflower seeds. And the mosquitoes, they're gonna get me. All right, lower narrow spit. The darkness in Graham's bedroom was the color of the monster's lobster black beady eyes when the alarm clock shattered the silence, starting Graham awake. Stars shone in unfamiliar patterns through his window, and the only sound he could make out was the air bubbling for his saltwater tub. A soft knock came on the door. Graham's dad stuck his head in along with the beam of light that swept the room and made Graham's eyes squeeze shut again. Porridge is ready, his dad said. Okay, Graham said groggily. I'll be right down. Graham turned on the lamp made of lobster cans next to his bed and snuggled back into the warmth of his flannel sheets while listening to his dad trudging down the stairs. Then he took a deep breath, whooshed back his bedding, and jumped onto the round braided rug. He scrambled to his bathroom and ran some water to wash his face. As he walked back, he passed Lynette's room. Her rainbows and fairy pattern bed was empty. After witnessing Lynette's onstage meltdown, Ferguson's mum had offered her to sew her a former Princess Mermaid cape to wear for keeps, and Violet had taken her back home for a sleepover so that Lynette could watch the cape being made. Graham pulled on the chilly clothes that laid that. Ooh, hold on here. Graham pulled on the chilly clothes that he had worn at yesterday's auction and added another sweater plus thick wool socks. Rubbing his arms, he made his way downstairs to the light in the kitchen. His dad was at the stove. The smell of coffee brewing filled the room. Two lunchboxes sat on the counter, packed and ready to go, and Fetch, who was wandering in, had taken an obligatory drink from his water bowl, looking at both of them with sleepy eyes, and then slunk back to his own cozy bed. Graham glanced out the window above the sink. It was still dark out, only less so. He could make out the silhouette of his dad's shed of, of treasures in the backyard. He sat down to a bowl of steaming porridge sprinkled with brown sugar while his dad poured him a glass of orange juice, and the two did not say a word as they ate. It would have broken the magical quiet that was all around. Graham's dad pointed to the ship clock on the wall. Time to go. Probably about, I don't know, 4:30 maybe. In the morning, Graham scooped the last bit of porridge, then took the bowls and rinsed them at the sink while his dad retrieved their floater coats and rubber boots in the mudroom. Outside, the world was brighter, but there was still no sun. Oh, isn't that something? So still no sun. Um, so yeah, it would be definitely early. The black roof houses of Lower Spit, Narrow Spit, slept on as Graham and his dad made their way down to the government wharf. Graham spotted a figure standing by the Harmonious too. It was Richard Zwicker, along with his pile of scuba gear. A dive will be just the thing. the marine biologist declared with excitement. Further down the wharf, expecting all the lobster boats, Ferguson's grandfather, and his buddy Mr. Hastings. They joined the group when Graham and his dad arrived. Top of the morning, said Fogburner jovially. What? Asked Crackadon, adjusting his hearing aid. Ferguson nodded curtly, having not yet forgiven Graham. But Graham hoped that Ferguson would change his mind if they all went well on their outing. The way that everything went well on their outing that they were about to take. Graham's dad climbed down the ladder to the boat and started the engine. Puffs of diesel waffled against the inky surface of the water. There was hardly a ripple. It was if we head out soon, Graham's dad announced, switching on if we head out soon, Graham's dad announced, switching on the navigation equipment, the tide will still be high, will still be with us and high, will be still with us. Graham scrambled down the ladder, followed by the others. Everyone found a spot to sit on the stern, and Graham handed out the life vests. How's our special guest? Fogburner asked. Graham lifted the lid of the water tank in the hole. The giant lobster twitched its spoke-like antennae. Good to go, said Graham, replacing the lid. The mega lobster had moved right after. Whew. The mega lobster had been moved right after yesterday's auction to spend its last night of captivity on the boat. You weren't going to leave without us, were you, Swinimer? A nasal voice called down from the wharf. Anyone look up? It was Norris's dad with Norris close in tow. They were loaded down with camera equipment and wearing full survival suits. A tourist yellow sou'wester, even though there was not a cloud in the sky. Do you guys know what a sou'wester is? It's a hat, a rain hat. Just warming up the boat, said Graham. His dad looking like he was trying hard not to smile at the silly gear. Climb aboard. You know what I think, said Norris's dad when they settled in the stern. He did not wait for he did not wait for oh there we go. He did not wait for an answer. My release of this lobster will make splendid photography for the cannery. The passengers nodded. What? Asked Crack at dawn, and the sun peaked above the horizon. And the sun peaked above the horizon. Would you look at that? Norris explained as pinks and oranges burned across the sky. Haven't you ever seen the sunrise from the boat? Graham asked, pushing from the stern off the wharf with the gaffing pole of the Harmonious too. Dropped her lines. No, Norris said proudly. Dad says there's no need. I'm going to run the cannery when I grow up. Excuse me. Norris is Nor excuse me. Norris turned away from the receding silhouette of Lower Narrow Spit and snapped a photograph of himself with the entire town behind him. Your dad tells me you're going to be a marine biologist, said Fogburner, thumping Graham on his back. For once, Graham did not answer. Can't wait. Instead, he turned to survey the passengers on board, an unlikely assembly of Lower Narrow Spit residents, each one having navigated past all kinds of obstacles to be there, each one worth knowing better. Graham returned his attention to Fogburner. Some day, he replied. Then Graham joined his dad at the helm as Harmonious too slid past the crop of rocks that marked the raggedy mouth of their harbor. And that concludes the last going off of the book here. of, as you can see, it is the Lower the Trap by Jessica Jessica Scott Kieran. Kerrin. Or Curran. Could be Curran, sorry. Curran. All right, and that's that. We'll just come back with some acknowledgments to end this book. It is that they're going out past the breakwater. What is that? The rocks. These are rocks that could be or would be put in the harbor so that it breaks the water coming into the basin. I grew up on Bedford Basin. I grew up on, in different places in Nova Scotia, and it was really quite interesting. Western Shore, Gold River. So if you follow Gold River up, you're up on the right side there of Gold River, where I would have been spending most of my weekends and summers and so forth. Also, if you go the other way, out the Gold River to the right, up above past Western Shore is Oak Island. So, if you are watching TV, you might see Oak Island, or if you might see, Captain Kidd and um, his mysteries of Oak Island. Yeah, you'd see that as well. So I'll let you go. Come back with the acknowledgments, and we're good to go for today. Have a great day, and I'll you. See those lobsters swimming. Take care.